Hello everyone, welcome to the wood shop. Before we do any work, we need to make sure that we are safe. Always wear safety glasses, hearing protection if necessary, remove jewelry, tie back long hair, tuck in loose clothing, and always wear closed-toed shoes. Hello everyone, welcome to Thickness Planer Safety Video. Today we're going to be talking about what the thickness planer will do for us and the safety features involved and the personal protective equipment that you're going to need to operate this machine safely. So first of all, you need safety glasses and hearing protection, no gloves, remove jewelry, tie back long hair, tuck in your tassels from your hoodie, all those things, okay? Secondly, what this machine does for us is it makes a parallel surface to another surface. So if we tried to put a crooked board through the planer, we would get a crooked board on the other side that's just a little bit thinner. So in order for this machine to actually make flat sides, we would need a jointed reference surface, reference face, and preferably at this point we would also have a jointed reference edge that goes with the face. So that goes face down on the table because the planer has a feed roller on the in-feed side and a feed roller on the out-feed side, and the cutter head is in the middle, removing the top surface of the material. So if we were to put our jointed face up, we would end up planing it off. We want to keep our jointed reference face intact. So we're going to put it face down, and the cutters in the planer are going to remove the top surface of this board. How we set this up is we put the board inside the planer. It should freely float, and the planer should be off, and then you can turn the planer on and raise up the wheel in a clockwise direction until it grabs the piece of wood and starts to pull it through. So this is a little bit closer. I'll get it pretty close. There, that looks pretty good. Now I'll turn it on, raise the wheel, and there we go. Now we can do a half turn at a time. It removes about a 1/16 of an inch of material at a time. And we would want to measure it each time it goes through to make sure we're not making our board too thin. So notice I was planing in the direction of the grain. The grain goes in this direction. We wouldn't be able to plane cross grain. So this board, just because it can fit in this direction, does not mean we can plane it in this direction because the grain goes in this direction. If we were to put this in here, the planer would make a big mess of it. It would tear out the grain, and it's really hard on the cutter head. It can also be an unsafe situation because chunks can come out of here, causing the machine to clog and bog down and even stop running. So always plane with the grain, not against the grain. If we wanted to have multiple boards the same thickness when we're finished, like these three are, we can set it up just like we did this one. So lower that down until this freely floats. Take a skim and then run all three boards for that one setting. Go around, pick them up on the other side, do your half turn, run 1, 2, 3 again. You can run more than one board at a time. You don't just have to run one. You can run 3 or 4 boards at a time, or 5 or 6 if they're skinny. So if you want them all to be the same thickness, set the machine once, run them through, set it again for thickness, run them all through. It'll save you time and give you more accuracy. They'll all end up being the same thickness in the end. Okay? If you are running long boards through the planer, make sure you walk them hand over hand so that the board's not sliding through your hands and you're prone to getting slivers. So what that means is you're kind of going hand over hand to allow the board to go into the planer. Don't drag it. Don't let the planer drag it through your hands, because you're going to get splinters and cuts and all kinds of nasty things. And also, we don't want to wear gloves. So if you're worried about getting splinters and you think wearing gloves is a good idea, think again. Gloves and machines do not mix. You don't want to wear gloves, because it's the difference between getting a cut or losing your whole hand, because the machine will drag the whole glove in to the machine and it will not end well. No gloves. Okay? Keep your hands away from the in-feed rollers at this point. So if you're running this through, don't get your fingers in there. It's not a good idea. Also, sometimes as you're running this through, the feed roller can push down on this corner and cause this to jump up. And then as it rides up here, it slams back down. And you probably don't want to get your fingers in there, because that would pinch you pretty good and wouldn't feel very good. And you'd most likely get injured. So keep your hands away, well away from the in-feed rollers and the out-feed rollers on the other side. Also, if your board gets jammed in the planer while it's running and it doesn't want to plane it, the best thing to do is to shut the machine off, wait for it to stop, and then lower the table using the wheel. And then remove it and figure out what the problem was. So most likely there are rollers on the bottom as well, and if this surface isn't flat, it has a hard time rolling evenly in the planer. So that's another bonus to having a reference face down on the planer, as it will help it run smoothly. Thank you for watching the Thickness Planer safety video, and we'll see you next time.